Hey, yeah. And I have the pleasure of welcoming our first guest. She is the proud owner and producer of Macaroni Kid, League City and Clear Lake. Please help me welcome Lindsay Flagan. So Lindsay, we've known each other for quite some time. We go back to my Chick-fil-A years.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, so that's been like 15. We don't want to date ourselves
not
here.
15.
No, not 15.
No, I've been doing Macaroni Kid for about 9 years.
Okay.
So it's like 9.
So it's no more than 9. Perfect. Lindsay, the first thing I want to start off is by talking about what is Macaroni Kid and how did you get involved with that organization?
Sure. So Macaroni Kid is a email newsletter that I send out every Thursday evening. Sometimes it's Friday morning because I'm a mom and let's face it, sometimes things don't happen. So I almost dropped the SH bomb there, but I'm behaving myself today.
Okay.
And then we also have a website where you can find information on everything that's family friendly going on in League City and Clear Lake. So
moms tend to be very busy.
Yes.
And would you say part of what makes a platform like Macaroni Kids successful is the sense of being able to curate stuff, because we're getting inundated with direct mail, with social media, with TV commercials, and so you sort of serve as a curation platform that says, I've already looked through it all.
Yep.
Here's some of the things that I think would be relevant to the moms of the area. Does that sound about right?
Yep, absolutely.
How much work goes into that?
Well, it's a lot of work. And the best thing is when I meet moms on the street and they're like, hey, I saw your article about this. And I'm like, thank God, because I spent 2 hours writing that. And I'm glad someone read it.
Right,
you know?
right.
Compiling events. I do have help from other Macaroni Kid publishers. So,
okay.
For people watching that aren't in the League City, Clear Lake area, there's over 500 Macaroni Kids around the nation.
Around the nation?
Yes.
Okay.
So, you just go to macaronikid.com and find your local area. But it does, I compile everything for moms at businesses, events.
So your particular license or franchise is made up of how many in your database?
I have over 5,600 moms that get the email newsletter.
Wow.
And then some of you guys don't want email, and that's completely fine. You can just go to the website, leaguecity.macaronikid.com.
Cool.
And then Facebook, I'm very active on Facebook too, so I list everything there. So
great. So if you're tuning in and you're one of the Macaroni Kid fans and moms, then definitely let us know in the comment section. We are live once again right here, bringing to you On Air with Pierre. And I think Ashley is watching our feed. Ashley, do we have any moms that are tuning in and saying in and hello?
Come on, mamas.
Yeah? Awesome. Cool. Okay, so they're coming in. Lindsay, the 5,600 is for your area, and then you said there's over 500 nationwide. So publishers. Yeah. And so out of those publishers, how many are in Houston, Texas? Kind of how's that divvied up?
I want to say there's about 5 of us in Houston.
Okay.
So there's a downtown Houston,
gotcha.
Katy, Southwest. We're very hyper local.
Sure.
Right? So moms that live in League City, they're not always going to want to drive downtown to find out what's going on with their kids.
Right.
So I focus on things that are happening right here in town.
Okay. And then, but you have access to be able to cover something that's going on at the zoo, for example, or something going on in the Woodlands, because it may be something of interest to the moms from League City, right?
Yeah, if it's big enough, absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay, so what are some of your favorite things that you get to cover? Have you ever gotten like Tide Pods, or what kind of stuff do you get sent? That's what I think what some people want to know.
So, yes, I've done work with Tide.
Okay.
I was on their Fabric Care Advisory Board.
Wow.
Which I got to, talk with the folks there at Procter & Gamble on how to keep kids safe. So we don't want kids eating those Tide Pods.
What happened with that?
I don't think people are eating them anymore. I don't think that that craziness is happening.
Right.
Because they haven't really tapped us to do much of that, and I haven't really heard much more about after the. You never want to do one of those challenges or whatever it is.
The Tide Pod challenge,
yes,
right?
That's not cool.
Nobody
It's
in the
not
studio
cool.
did the Tide Pod challenge, right?
They
No,
wouldn't
no.
be
Okay,
here.
good.
They wouldn't be here.
But the important thing is that even though a global company like Procter and Gamble is also committed within their strategy to be able to develop something like the advisory board that you're talking about that brings in super hyper local voice into what
Right.
they're doing
And real moms.
Yeah,
you
real
know?
moms,
You wanna
absolutely.
talk to like real moms, not fake moms. I don't
Right.
know what fake moms are, but
And then I also understand that you get sometimes some swag from like movies that are coming out or stuff from Disney. Tell me about that.
yeah. So we just got to review the second Wreck-It Ralph. Ralph Breaks the Internet.
Yes.
So sometimes I get to have little parties, and they send us the DVDs a little bit earlier than they go out on the market.
Okay.
And we what I love to do for those is put together activities for the kids to do while they're watching the movie.
Okay.
So for Wreck-It Ralph, we made little go-karts out of Twinkies. So like the Twinkie was the base, and then you put like Reese's Pieces for wheels, and let the kids kind of have fun with it, because
Sure.
it's always good to incorporate different avenues, for instead of just sitting there watching a movie and screen
Right.
time and stuff like that.
So there's a lot of work in terms of putting in the time to curate, all the stuff that's possible in terms of what you could do, and then you take it into the stuff that might be relevant for your fan base or the audience that you're speaking to, and along the way you've gotten to do some fun things.
Yeah.
And so what else do you get to do that you think is like, well, this is kind of really cool?
Yeah. I've gone on some press trips.
Okay.
So we just got back from Angel Fire, New Mexico.
Okay.
Where my kids got to ski, and we got to, check out a resort that maybe like not a lot of people have heard of
Okay.
from here, but it's only really a 13 and a half hour drive from Lake City. So you can pack up the kids. They're doing a lot of stuff in the summer
Okay.
coming up, and it's a great little resort that I probably would have never gotten the opportunity to even hear of, let alone
Sure.
check out. Another thing I love to do locally is events.
Okay.
So we have our annual Easter egg hunt coming
Okay.
up, which I love. I love it because it's not one of those Easter egg hunts where it's like everybody lines up and then all of the kids go, and it's this big mass panic, right? And some kids get like 20 eggs and some kids get none, and people are crying. The way we do this, and I think it's brilliant, but we have kids sign up for time slots.
Okay.
So we have like a 1:30, which I think is full right now, 2:30, 3 o'clock.
Okay.
And we only let 30 kids in at a time.
Okay.
And we count out the eggs, and they're allowed 10 eggs each.
Gotcha.
Parents can go in and take pictures.
Sure.
It's not this like pandemonium that
Parents
I was.
get very like passionate during
Yes.
like I've had the opportunity, or I don't know if it's maybe not like a good opportunity, but I've seen some parents get like into fights about an Easter egg, and stuff, and it's for their kids, and,
Yes.
and it's crazy.
Yes.
I want to talk very, very, very briefly to get your take, just kind of philosophically speaking, about parents and influence, right? So it's a hot topic right now. So this is a question that I know you weren't thinking I was going to ask you, but we recently heard on the news a scandal of
scandals.
Aunt Becky from Full House,
Yes.
right? That basically uses her influence, but really money, to do something for her kids. And obviously it's been, heavily criticized, and she's in trouble, right?
Yeah.
I mean, she's gonna have to deal with the FBI now. But what's your take on where do we cross the line? And I don't say we, because I'm not a parent, but where do
Yeah.
parents cross that? Where are they able to mitigate some of the potential damage when you want to do anything and everything for your kids?
Absolutely.
Where do you draw the line there?
It's funny you should say that, because I absolutely do not agree with what she did.
Sure.
But you can't help but feeling a little bit sorry for her.
Sure,
Because
right.
she was looking in and wanting to help her kid.
Right.
I think where she went wrong and where the line was crossed, though, is you have to allow your children to fail.
Sure.
They have to know what it feels like to fail and how to build yourself back
Right.
up.
Right.
So if there was never an opportunity for her to get a denial letter from a college, or an opportunity to fail, how can you even function in life?
Right.
You know, I mean, as adults, it's not easy,
Absolutely.
know? And you need to know how to deal with those things. So like, where would she then draw the line?
Right.
She already got her into college. She already got her, you know, are you then going to pay for those grades in that college that you don't belong in?
Sure.
You know, where are you going to pay for the husband that you think that she's supposed to have?
Right,
I mean,
right.
Where does that line get crossed?
And it's tricky. I think it's tricky because when you involve the emotional aspect of parenting and your kids that are your blood, the lines get blurred real quickly because it's like, well, the rules kind of, you know, and then you base it off of intent, right? Her intent was to help her kids. It wasn't to damage anybody or to take, like I heard a friend say the other day, how many people got denied that were owed that spot on that college because she paid for her kid to get into. And so that's where it gets tricky because, you know, it's like, you know, my line basically ends where yours begins, kind of deal.
Exactly.
But we're all as passionate about it, and it's our kids, and we love them, and so I think it's definitely an interesting conversation. Even with this situation with the chemical plant that happened here in Deer Park. With the school districts deciding to close school or to not close school, and then all the feedback of which some of it is very colorful from parents saying like, you know, you should have closed the school, you shouldn't have closed the school, and again, it gets into that sort of line of where does my passion and commitment to the well-being of my children, the safety of my children, cross over into, you know, legal space and ethical space that's questionable, you know. So it's definitely something that's interesting and, you know, has different multifaceted angles to it.
Yeah, because parents will pay for, you know, SAT classes.
Yep.
Right?
Right.
Or you pay for private lessons for
Correct.
baseball or cheer.
Or private school.
Private school. So, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
Sure.
You know?
Sure.
But there are parents that can't afford it. So then where is the line where it's fair or not fair? So
100%.
You know, I feel like the more I'm getting older, you know, there's no black and white in things. There's always this weird gray area.
Right.
Now she stepped out of the gray area.
Yes.
But you could almost imagine if you had the ability how you would go there
absolutely
incrementally in steps if you were her.
Right.
You know, but I'm in no way condoning it. So.
If you're just now tuning in, guys, we are talking with Lindsay Flagan of Macaroni Kid in League City. If you want to get connected with Lindsay, how can people get connected with you, Lindsay?
So you can go to my website, www.leaguecity.macaronikid.com.
Okay.
Or my email is Lindsay with an A.
Okay.
F@macaronikid.com.
Perfect. Lindsay, I want to thank you so much for coming to spend some time and talking with us. I'd love to have you back maybe in a month or two to come back and talk to us some more. I know that you've got your Easter egg hunt coming up.
April 7th.
And then we are recently signed on to do some work with South Shore Harbor Resort, which is one of our sponsors for the show event, for the show as well. So a big shout out to them. And, you know, we're excited because I think you're planning a Mother's Night Out event or something like that.
Yeah, hopefully by the pool. It'll be a lot of fun.
There you go. So be on the lookout. And of course, you can get connected with us on social media as well at Top Star Events and Entertainment. So both on my social media platforms and Lindsay's, we'll be posting all the information about the Mother's Night event that we're going to be hosting at South Shore Harbor Resort and Conference Center. We're going to take a short commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to be talking with Chris Hart of the Houston Whiskey Social. We're going to be giving away a pair of tickets right here live on the show. So share this event out. Tell your friends if you're a whiskey lover, or if you're not, you can make somebody's day by grabbing a hold of a pair of tickets to the Houston Whiskey Social. We're going to take a short commercial break. We'll be right back. Hello, my friends. You and I have a date at 11 o'clock every single Wednesday, so you can tune in and watch my show, On Air with Pierre, where I interview local celebrities and the movers and shakers of the Bay Area, Houston. So be sure and tune in to On Air with Pierre, Wednesdays at 11 o'clock.